slow.
Okay.
Judges, please give me any indication when you're ready. Thank you. Death, despair, violence. Our citizens of the United States of America should not have to go through this. Guns are a big issue, and it disappoints me that my opponents believe that innocent people and bad criminals should have the right to bear arms. And I don't think that weapons should be put in the arms of innocent citizens and bad criminals to create more violence in our country. So, senators, let's make peace and let's move our country forward. I stand in firm affirmation of this resolution, and you should too. I have three main reasons explaining why. First of all, in the past 50 years, guns have killed more Americans than all the wars that America has fought. According to a recent study, even by using a significantly higher number for Civil War deaths, the comparison still holds up. The number of deaths since 1968 was higher than war fatalities by roughly 120,000 deaths. What does this make us, giving guns to our own citizens? Secondly, gun owners are a greater threat to households than to intruders. A study done by New England Journal of Medicine says, although firearms are often kept in the home for personal protection, this study shows that the practice is counterproductive. Efforts to increase safety and security bite back by making it a threat to the household members. So do not come up here and tell me that there are citizens that are safer with their guns in their homes, because they're not. Lastly, a gun in the home doubles the risks of homicide, triples the risks of suicide, and increases domestic violence. According to Public Health Reporter, in 2015, a recent meta-analysis that says that easy to fire arms doubled the risk of homicide and tripled the risk of suicide among all household members. Family violence is almost much more likely to be lethal in homes where a firearm is present, placing children especially in danger. Murder-suicides are another major risk to children and are most likely to be committed with a gun. So senators, is this where our country leads? We need to get smart and start protecting our citizens and our people of the country. And don't give me excuses like protecting gun rights, because life is wealthier than gun rights. I urge you to stand with me and protect our country and move our country forward as leaders. Affirm. Thank you, and I'm now open to questions.
Okay, that's a question. That's a speech of 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Questions, Senator Nirmala?
Although you say not to talk about gun rights, as Americans, isn't it our civil liberty to be able to own guns in our home and feel secure?
Isn't it our civil liberty to protect our own citizens?
Hang on. Meghna?
That every time we put a restriction, people will fight it more?
Okay, so I don't know where you got your research, but according to my research by PunditFact, that the more, by recent history, the countries that have restricted gun rights and gun laws have a better history of gun deaths, less gun deaths.
If this bill is indeed passed, what will you do with all the people that currently own guns?
Okay, so if you have read this resolution, it's actually a resolution, not a bill, but it states that we will, it doesn't even state anything about what we will do with the guns, but in my opinion, what we should do is we should ban every citizen from having guns, because it's not safe.
What do you do with the guns?
So imagine that you live in a far-off place, a wooded area where there are no other houses for miles and miles and miles. If you have an animal attacking you, perhaps a bear or something, what are you supposed to use, a bow and arrow?
But look at the big picture. 98 Americans are dying every day by gun deaths, so this is like crazy. I mean, I understand this might happen, but you know, 98 Americans is a big deal every day.
Meghna, last question.
Senator, are you constituting with people who live in wooded areas? Lives don't matter as much as people who live in natural areas because more people died there than in wooded areas?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we need to look at the big picture. This happens. I understand this happens every day, but let's reduce the bigger problems.